this could be the downfall in the end of Samson Dauda's reign as being that top guy going into these pro shows. And not just going into the Olympia, I'm talking about pro shows, just open regular season pro shows. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Muscle Discord, and we have a winner. Martin Fitzwater takes home the W in Prague at the 2025 Prague Pro, man. This is huge news. Not a lot of people, I don't know if anyone was predicting that, Martin was going to win this show. A few people did, so I'll give them props. But Samson Dauda comes in second place. Michael Crizzo in third. Keon Pearson fourth. And in fifth place, we have Joan Padelas, if I'm saying that correctly. In fifth, rising star there. But man, guys, I'm telling you right now, this could be the downfall in the end of Samson Dauda's reign as being that top guy going into these pro shows. And not just going into the Olympia, I'm talking about pro shows, just open regular season pro shows. Because if Samson Dauda can't go into an open season regular pro show and win it, I don't know what else to say. I mean, people are going to start to question whether, again, Marlena, his coach, his wife, is the best fit for him. They haven't been able to pull it together since the Arnold, when he took second to Derek Lunsford. And then he went into the Mr. Olympia and got fourth. And then he goes into the Prague Pro 2 weeks later and gets second to a guy he beat 2 weeks earlier in the Olympia, Martin Fitzwater. So, Samson Dauda, if you're listening, brother, you probably are. You're probably listening. It's time to reevaluate your strategy and your coach. I'm going to be honest. These are back-to-back failures. These are back-to-back losses, major losses. And we're seeing a lot of guys leave their coaches and move on real quick. And Samson's been sticking it out with Marlena. But what can he do? Obviously, he can try and come back and improve. There's always the next show, and I hope he does come back and, do his best at the Olympia. Maybe go do the Arnold. I don't know. I think he needs to take a break. It's not working. The body's not responding. He's not. It's just not the same Samson Dauda that we're used to seeing. So let's take a look at some of the photos and video here. Martin Fitzwater versus Samson Dauda. Now, I do have a ChatGPT's assessment of at least the top two, because the photos from the screenshots, it was dark. It's shitty. It's not getting the right analysis from it. So I'm just going to redoing this. And I'll show you ChatGPT here at the end. So you're going to have to watch to the end so we get to the ChatGPT analysis and see who ChatGPT thinks should have won between the two of these guys, because that's what we're honing in on here. Normally I do the top five, but again, shitty lighting at the show, not going to do it. So front double bicep, I mean, between Martin and Samson, it's very close. But I can almost give this to Martin in the front double bicep, because look at the symmetry on Samson. Right? He's a little narrow in the lower half. He's not taking as much room up on the stage, and he's posing differently. Usually his feet are further apart like Martin's, but he's doing a narrow stance, which gives him more of a T frame versus an X frame. Look at Martin. What does that look like, guys? That's an X frame. That's what you want to show in the front double bicep. You don't want to show a T frame like Samson's showing. It throws off your structure, throws off your symmetry. So I'm going to give the front double bicep to Martin Fitzwater in this pose. Martin looked great. You know what? He surprised me. I didn't have him winning in my. I had Samson winning in my prediction. Front lat spread. I would give this to Samson. He's very broad in the shoulders. His quad's still a little bit downsized and more of a T frame versus X frame. But he's just so overpowering in the deltoid region, in width region, in the lat spread. So this is going to Samson. His legs are a little bit better posed here as well over Martin. But Martin's improved this pose tremendously over the years. So good on Martin for bringing up this pose. Front lat spread, in my opinion, goes to Samson Dauda. Guys, leave a comment below if you disagree. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you guys haven't already done so, I appreciate it. Side chest. Samson is just so thick in this chest and round. Condition is good enough. Martin is in better condition than Samson, but just the overall display of this pose, it's hard to beat Samson in the side chest. So I'll give that one to Samson Dauda. Guys, again, if you disagree, leave a comment below. Back double bicep. Now, I do feel like Samson did look better than he did here at the Mr. Olympia. Conditioning maybe slightly better, a little bit fuller, but still not the level of the conditioning as you're seeing in Martin here. You can see in the hamstrings and the glutes and the detail in Martin's back. I could give this to be a toss-up between the two of them. And because of Martin's conditioning, I would probably give Martin the edge over Samson in this back double bicep, which is crazy to say. So I'm going to go with Martin in the back double. Samson is lacking that condition that we've been telling him to bring, and he's not been able to do it. Rear lat spread. Yeah, Martin struggles. You see, struggling to even get into that pose because he doesn't have the lats to fill to spread it. Samson Dauda winning the back lat spread. Samson, to me, I think he's forgetting to even squeeze his glutes here. So that's a little bit of a rookie mistake there. But it's the width on Samson's lats, the hamstrings, and everything. There you go. Now he's squeezing it a little bit. Seems like he's struggling to open that left lat a little bit as well. I've noticed that earlier in the prejudging. Side tricep. I would give this to Samson Dauda. Look at the chest. The tricep is huge. Thickness, side quad. Not as conditioned, but he's got the overall structure in this pose. I think Martin's shredded, but he struggles in this pose a little bit. Maybe can tweak it a little bit, but that's a close one between the two. But I give it to Samson. Look at his chest. It's massive. What do we got? Ab and thigh. Ab and thigh. I would give that to Martin over Samson. Samson has okay abs, but again, better structure in this pose, good separation in the quads for Martin over Samson. So I'll give you the ab and thigh. Look at the striations in the lower quad there on Martin. Crazy condition. Samson squeezing down. There's not much showing there. So he just doesn't have that. The lower quad striations like Martin does. Most muscular. Right there. There it is. Huge Samson Dauda. Still, even though he's downsized, he's still massive standing next to Martin there. You can see the legs a little downsized on Samson. But I give that to, give this to Samson, but Martin has a superior most muscular. So I don't know. I mean, leave a comment below. Who do you like in the most muscular, Samson or Martin? I actually like Martin's most muscular because it's very dry and conditioned and it's a gnarly looking most muscular. Samson's is big and round and, go okay conditioning, but this Martin is just another level of conditioning. So that is the top two. We can go into a little bit of the top five here. They pulled out, it was just Keon, obviously, in fourth and Joan in fifth. Good displaying here. You can see the comparison between Keon and Samson, which is what I wanted to see. Now, could you make the case for Keon to have done better and maybe beat Samson here? I don't know. Obviously, he didn't. I'm excited to see what the scorecards are going to show. But, he's comparing not bad next to Samson. I had in prejudging based off the lighting in this live stream that we were seeing. I had Samson first, Keon still ahead of Martin second, and then Martin in third. But it could have been Crizzle too. Crizzle looked very good too. That's another thing too. Crizzle compared very well to Samson with the size, but he had more conditioning. So I don't know. Maybe even Crizzle, you can make the case maybe he could have took the whole damn show, right? But the judges preferred Martin's physique. But even comment below what you guys think about Crizzle. Can you make the case for that he potentially won? Now with that, not with the ab and thigh there, but the muscularity, the conditioning on Crizzle. If you see his back poses, his back double, it's very, very impressive. Keon, I just think I can see here he's just not as sharp as he needed to be. I think if he was sharper and just really, really shredded, he would have done better. He got fourth. I think he could have been up in the third place positioning, but it just didn't bring that razor sharp 2024 conditioning that we saw last year. He hasn't been able to bring back that conditioning. It looks like Keon has left his coach, Patrick Tour, and he's on his own, I think, with his girlfriend now. So there's Gene right there. Great athlete, number 22. Great structure, good quad sweep. Great conditioning from the front. He needs to work on the back conditioning. That's what holds him back. That's how Keon was able to stay ahead of that guy. You can see there, a little thin on the back. Kudos to Martin for bringing, maybe his best look to date. You can see right there the conditioning difference between Samson and Martin. But that's what I'm saying. Make the case that Crizzle could have been up there, maybe in the second or pushing for first. I wouldn't count that out, but he lands in third. Keon in fourth. I think Keon did a good job for his open debut. I think he just missed the mark with the conditioning and just didn't have a dry enough look, especially in the hamstrings and glutes when that's where he's really shines, and it just wasn't popping as much as Martin's. And I think he's got the same type of structures as Martin does, if not better, right? Better genetics, but because he wasn't displaying the conditioning, he just fell back. So I think if he was at his all-time best, he would have potentially won the show. And I mean that when I say that about Keon. But he wasn't at his all-time best, that's for sure. And he fell back. That's what happens. When we make these predictions, we're assuming that these guys are going to come in at their all-time best. Not off, not watery, not smooth in some areas. So that's what happens, and you make the predictions and you get it wrong sometimes. And I got I got my prediction wrong with Samson Dauda winning the show. Right? You're only as good as the day of the show, not what you did at the Olympia or the previous show. And so it is what it is there. I'll show you quickly here now ChatGPT's assessment. I just did the top two, so we can and then take a quick look there. Let me kind of zoom in. Yeah, let me zoom in for you guys. And so for what I said here, as I always do, based on the IFBB Pro League's men's open bodybuilding judging criteria, who wins, break down each pose and explain who wins each pose. You can see the poses here. I entered them there. That's what it's getting. Just full transparency. And then it's taking the left, which is Samson. Number 9 is Martin. So first, front double bicep. It's giving the edge to Martin. Number 9, smaller waist, higher bicep peak. Yeah, create sharper V taper. Yeah, he has a sharper V taper. Quads show a touch more separation. Yeah, through the mid thigh. Number 1 is bigger overall. Yeah, and sweep quads, but the midsection looks a little blockier, which softens the taper in this shot. So front double bicep, as you can see here. Yeah, you can see Martin. Like I said, that was the X-frame issue and taper that Samson just is not displaying in that pose, and he's giving that pose to Martin. Thank you, ChatGPT, for backing that up for me. Okay, so front lat spread goes to Samson Dauda. As I kind of said before I even talked about this, Samson was winning that. It's more dramatic, yes, shoulder to waist width in the front lat spread particularly. Lats hang lower, giving the classic more of an X frame. And Samson does have a better X frame in that pose. Now, he could have maybe won the front double bicep pose if he posed his legs wider apart, but he didn't do that. Made a rookie mistake. And he's not a rookie, so he should know better. So yeah, and then Martin is wide, but the lats flare doesn't descend as low. Chest isn't as three-dimensional as Samson's massive chest, so I get that. Okay, side chest goes to Samson Dauda. Yeah, I gave Samson a side chest, so me and ChatGPT are on the same page there. Round delts, dominant ham, glute tie-in is in the reads denser, and then Martin looks clean and tight, but doesn't match Samson's 3D pop from this angle. So yeah, we can all probably agree with that, but it's close. Back double bicep. Now see, I gave Martin the back double because he just was more crisp and more conditioned. So ChatGPT gives Martin Fitzwater the back double bicep. It's a big pose to get. Crisper detail in the mid-back, cleaner lines through the glutes and hamstrings. Samson superior width, but finer grain and separation favor number 9, which is Samson. Or sorry, favor Martin, which is number 9. So it's a little bit confusing. I've been going to the numbers. And then rear lat spread goes to Samson. Yes, and I gave Samson the rear lat spread. Whew. I got that one right. I was like, what? So yeah, Samson wins the rear lats, but he's massive lats. Wide is still a bit on stage comparison. Lats plug up the lower and create the wider shell. Martin shows hardness, yep, but can't show the overall back width from Samson. Okay, tricep. Tighter waist goes to, yeah, Martin. Waist is drier, more etched tricep condition-wise. Yeah, I can see why I could go there. Number 1 is thicker, which I see through the legs and torso, but the actual tricep presentation looks sharper on on Martin. And apples and oranges there. If you're going to really go off the judging criteria, which also factors in conditioning, then yeah, this is why it should go to Martin. I was more leaning kind of favorably towards Samson in the side tricep pose. As a human being, we start to glare and kind of overlook, well, what about the fucking criteria? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, what about the okay? And then you that guy should win because he meets more of the criteria from a percentage standpoint. And so that's where the judges kind of fuck up a little bit, right? So side tricep actually goes to Martin. I get it. I can see the case for it. Abs and thigh number, yeah, I gave it to Martin. We're on the same page again with ChatGPT. Deeper ab blocks, tighter midsection. Samson's thigh sweep is a little bigger here, but yet the ab wall reads a bit smoother and in this lighting. Okay. Yeah, the lighting isn't most appealing to Samson as well. To show most muscular, yeah, I gave it to Samson, but I prefer Martin's most muscular, as I said previously. Massive chest delts with round, full muscle bellies looks the most overwhelmingly 3D. Yeah, Samson. Martin is full, but Samson's density and width jump out on this shot. So the total overall, number 1, which is Samson, wins the front lat, side chest, rear lat, most muscular. That's 4 poses. And Martin wins front double bicep, side tricep, back double, ab, and thigh. 4 poses. We're tied. ChatGPT's tied it. What's the tiebreaker here, chat? Is there one? What is this? Our on purpose pose counts. It's a wash, but overall the decision goes to Samson Dauda. Samson Dauda. ChatGPT disagrees with the judges. And it's giving it to Samson Dauda by a hair due to superior structure and silhouette with wider clavicle, lower lat insertions, bigger frame. Okay, greater muscle density and roundness in the impact shots. Side chest, most muscular. The stage presence, flow, number 1 shots, rear read larger, more commanding, even when Martin has crisper detail. The verdict, Samson takes this matchup very narrowly overall look and presentation, despite Martin's edge in the dryness in a few detail heavy poses. So ChatGPT has Samson Dauda winning by a hair, which is not in agreement with the judges. Now, I want to hear you guys below. What do you think? Should Samson look really good? You know, he looked good, better than the Olympia. It's a close call here. Leave a comment below. What do you guys think? Did the judges get it wrong? Did they get it right? Is it apples and oranges? Because ChatGPT also agrees with the judges in a sense, because potentially it's tied, but Martin won. So what was the tiebreaker in the judges' eyes? Maybe it was tied in the scores. We're going to see the scorecard. So this will be very interesting. I wanted to detail something I saw here near the end of the thing here when Steve Weinberger was shaking hands. Just kind of funny. Let's see if I can catch that. Yeah, there it is right there. So you're gonna see Big Steve here, you know, walking on the stage. Yeah, Steve, yeah, shaking the hands. All right, yeah, okay, yeah. Hello. And watch this. Watch Steve try to make eye contact with Samson Dauda after Samson just got second place. Devastating news for Samson. And how does Samson react to this? Let's see. Say, yeah, okay, well, fuck you. Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, bye. Right away, he just, nah, I'm not having it, man. Samson Dauda was not having it right there, guys. I'll show you again real quick. Look at the eye contact, 2 seconds. Yeah, fuck you. That's what that means right there. That's a fuck you to Steve Weinberger. Samson's not happy with this. ChatGPT had Samson winning by a hair. I'm sure Samson thought he was going to win this show, and Steve took that from him, and Samson Dauda's not happy. But I wanted you to see that right there, guys. Just pay attention, okay? Right? The little details. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Remember to like the video and subscribe. If you haven't already done so, leave your comments below. I want to know what you guys think. Do you agree with ChatGPT? Do you agree with the judges? All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Hey, guys, Matt Sinkering here, host of the Muscle Discord podcast. And I want to do a quick plug of my coaching business. I do online coaching as well through my exclusive fitness app, where you have guided workouts to follow, meal plans to follow, all the macros are laid out for you, the cooking instructions. You do weekly check-ins with me, upload your photos, your measurements, and I make adjustments as needed every week for you. So use promo code Muscle Discord when you sign up, and you'll save 20% off your monthly coaching fee. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.